It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Sunday, the 28th of September. I'm Michael Groff. After a few days with active weather here over the southwest, conditions quieting down beginning today. Yes, we will still have some isolated showers and thunderstorms over southern Arizona, scattered showers and storms up north. But that upper level low that's been creating all of this unsettled weather over the last few days is beginning to weaken, open up into a wave, and lift on out. And as a result, temperatures will begin to warm up as we head into this upcoming week. Daytime highs returning back to the 90s and approaching 100 degrees by later this week. Do we have any more rain chances on the horizon? How hot will it get? How long will all of that last? We'll talk about all of it and everything else. Plus, the tropics pretty active out there. So much to get into. We'll do it all here in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofinggroup.com. All right, let's get into it here. First, taking a look at the almanac from yesterday. 87 degrees was the afternoon high. 69 was that morning low thanks to the clouds and some showers at the airport yesterday morning, driving down that temperature. 97 and 74 are the averages for this time of year. At Sky Harbor Airport, officially in the bucket yesterday, 21 hundredths of an inch of rain, now pushing our monthly total over 2¼ inches, and our yearly total still behind, but getting closer to where we ought to be now at 4.23 inches, which is just 2/100ths of an inch shy of the rain we had the entirety of last year. Speaking of last year and temperature records and all of that, I did promise Clayton in the comments a few days ago that I'd get you an update with the threat of a couple more 100-degree days on the horizon. Let's just take a look at where we stand right now with our temperatures, the totals for this year so far. 119 days with a high temperature at or above 100 degrees so far this year, and that is above average. 37 days with a high temperature at or above 110. That is the fourth most on record, but of course, nowhere near that all-time record from last year. Pretty much 2024 dominates most of these records. Of course, we have had 97 days with a low temperature at or above 80 degrees, but I think, fingers crossed, we are done with those 80-degree day lows. All right, as we take a look outside right now, here at 8:40 a.m., we've got some clouds out there right now, and we're sitting at 73 degrees at Sky Harbor. It's still muggy, dew points at 64. Relative humidity 74%, the wind from the east at 7, the barometer is rising. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. We put this in motion, and you can see that upper low that's been providing the unsettled weather. It is still here over Arizona, but it's beginning to weaken and slowly move more to the north. This is going to become more of an open wave type system. And so as a result, we don't have nearly as much dynamic support over the area for today. And so any shower and thunderstorm activity should mainly be confined to the higher terrain of central and northern Arizona, maybe the eastern part of the state as well. That said, we can't completely rule out a stray shower or storm here in southern Arizona for the rest of the day today, but then things will begin to quiet down and high pressure will build in after later today and tomorrow and through much of this upcoming week. The watch warning map. All right, the first thing that jumps out at you, those tropical storm warnings butting up against the coastal sections of the southeast U.S., some hurricane warnings offshore, and that is in association with our tropical depression number 9, which is likely to become a melda today. Very interesting forecast track on that, which we're going to show you in a moment. Got a flood watch over parts of extreme southern New Mexico, West Texas, around the El Paso area. That same system that brought the unsettled weather to us is shifting the deeper moisture further off to the east as well. Otherwise, things are relatively quiet across the country right now. The convective outlook for today, a marginal risk of severe storms over portions of New Mexico and far west Texas. Arizona, we're in the green for most of the state. And again, there could be a thunderstorm someplace even here over the lower deserts today, but they would be pretty isolated in nature, that's for sure. Nothing like we saw yesterday, and certainly nothing like what we saw on Friday. But do keep in mind that any storms that manage to pop up could still produce some locally heavy rain and gusty winds. So we're not completely out of the woods just yet. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin. All right, we've got two features on the board right now. Of course, there's Humberto, and that is a monster. It is a beast of a storm. And then we've got Tropical Depression number 9. Now, Humberto, look at the presentation on the satellite with this feature. My goodness. That is about as textbook, classic, Category 4, almost Category 5 hurricane as you are ever going to see. Speaking of, top winds 155 miles per hour. Fortunately, this will not impact the east coast of the United States other than to give dangerous rip currents. This is not going to make landfall on the U.S. East Coast. This is not going to directly make landfall with Bermuda, although there will be some interaction there. But fortunately, this is going to be a fish storm. Now, looking further west, this disorganized mess that you see here over the Bahamas, this is Tropical Depression number 9. But probably, and we said this yesterday, but it's been having trouble getting organized, partially due to the fact that Humberto is over there, and partially due to a trough that's over the southeast U.S. This is having trouble getting organized. Still, we feel that it will become a little bit better established later today and become a tropical storm. That will be Imelda. Tropical storm warnings for the Bahamas. And, of course, all those tropical weather advisories out there for the southeast coast of the United States. But look at the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. They do expect this to become a hurricane, but they also expect this to make kind of that button hook, that immediate curve to the east-northeast, long before it makes impact on the Carolinas. So we don't expect direct landfall with the U.S. at this point with this system. And then this will become post-tropical as it approaches Bermuda, but still have dangerous winds, probably still hurricane force winds. It'll just start to lose those tropical characteristics. So Bermuda kind of might dodge a bullet for the most part from Humberto, but this system may very well make a direct impact on Bermuda, albeit as a weakening post-tropical system. All right, closer to home. This is the precipitation outlook valid through next Sunday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix. I suppose we could see something today. Heavier amounts will be found across central and northern Arizona with rain amounts anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. Of course, your amount will vary as we've seen from these storms over the last few days. Any one spot can obviously get a lot more than what's shown here, but this represents an average of what we'll see. And then we're going to enter into a prolonged period of dry weather, as is fairly typical here in late September and early October. We're going to talk about the details of that right now as we explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It is the 060 run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. There you see our dual tropical systems out there, one over the Bahamas and one well to the east of there. That's, of course, TD9 and Humberto. Now, for us, that upper-level disturbance is now just weakening, opening up into a wave. There's a very impressive trough that's off the Pacific Northwest coast over the Northeast Pacific. So what it all means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, we'll call it partly cloudy, just a slight chance we could see a shower or thunderstorm here in the lower deserts, including Phoenix today. Again, those storms, albeit a small chance that they'll occur, where they do happen, brief heavy rain, gusty winds could still occur, maybe even some small hail. The environment still favors that. Otherwise, though, not a bad day. It'll be muggy, but high temperatures only topping out in the mid to upper 80s, and that's a healthy 7 to 10 degrees below where we ought to be for this time of year. So we'll take that. For tonight, the skies will clear out. Overnight lows will mainly be in the 70s for most of us. Upper 60s, though, in the cooler pockets. Here's the HRRR, by the way, this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and thought I'd throw this in there just to show you most of the precipitation today is going to be concentrated across northern Arizona, places like Flagstaff over to Kingman up toward the Grand Canyon. Maybe Page gets in on some showers and storms, but again, we can't rule out a stray storm here over the lower deserts. All right, let's keep it going. This is tomorrow, Monday. And we are sunny. We are drying out. High temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s. That's still a little bit below average. Not too bad. With the drier air coming in by tomorrow night, we'll start the day out on Tuesday in the 60s in many spots, low 70s in the urban core. High temperatures will be warmer, though, low to mid 90s, mid to upper 90s on Wednesday. With the skies sunny, the air dry, high pressure is building in. Those upper heights are climbing. Here's Thursday again. We start the day out in the mid 60s to low 70s for most spots. High temperatures, upper 90s to near 101 degrees. Latest guidance is starting to push us back toward the triple digits here. I told you we weren't quite done with 100-degree days just yet. We can't completely write them off. Thursday and Friday both look about the same. Highs upper 90s to about 101 degrees. But then after that, we see a trough that's moving past us to the north across the Great Basin, and the Intermountain West will be on the southern periphery of that. That should bring some breezy conditions in here on Friday and especially Saturday, especially across northern Arizona. High temperatures should fall off at least a few degrees back toward the mid-90s or so. And we'll probably see continued cooling depending on how that plays out. But either way, that could be it for our triple-digit temps. A week from today, this is Sunday, the 5th of October. Now we've got another trough that's lining up right there along the west coast, a positively tilted trough. The heights are coming down here over the southwest. And still, southwesterly flow that looks pretty dry for us at least at this time. But just hang on a second because we're going to elaborate on that. High temperatures should probably be down in the upper 80s to low 90s or so if this works out. This is Monday the 6th. And there is a tropical system that's down there off your screen. And this system could pick up at least on a little bit of high-level moisture from that for some partly cloudy sky and high temperatures still somewhere in the upper 80s to low 90s. So right around where we ought to be for this time of year. Going out 10 days. This is Tuesday, the 7th of October. Now we've got this trough approaching us, deepening here over the southwest. Negative height anomalies. The upper heights down below 580 decameters, somewhere between about 575 to 579 decameters across Arizona. And that's going to result in temperatures probably holding in the mid 80s to near 90. However, look what we have going on down here according to the GFS. Now, again, this is 10 days out. We are trudging into fantasy land here, but the tropics in the East Pacific have remained pretty active this season, and so it's not inconceivable for another tropical system to be down there, although this has two features. That one immediately off the Mexican coast looks very strong on this run, but if that's right, we're going to have to watch how that trough interacts with that system and how much of that moisture it draws up here. Is it out of the question for this to happen? No. We've already seen some strange things this month of September. Strange relative to the fact that it had been very quiet all summer long in our part of the country, and now suddenly things are picking up for us here, and we've had this rather potent upper low over the last few days. And tropical cyclones do occur down here this time of the year. Every once in a while, they come up our direction and throw some chaos into our forecast. Is that possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. We're going to keep an eye on how things play out during that time period. Look at a rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through the 11th of October. This is off of the GFS ensemble. And the ensemble mean is about 0.2 of an inch. European ensemble, almost identical, about 0.2 of an inch. European AI ensemble, of course, bigger spread here. You've got some members that show nothing, some that are up there at 2 and 3 inches of rain. The ensemble mean is around 0.5 inch. And if you've been following how these ensembles have played out, the ensemble mean from the Euro AI, well, it's been the big winner this month. It's done a very good job out here at the from the mid-range, if you will, the all the way out to 2 weeks. So maybe that's how things will play out. We will see. But obviously there's a big spread, so that denotes quite a bit of uncertainty. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Yeah, we're going to warm up. Look, we weren't going to be done with 90-degree days. We weren't going to stay in the 80s for the rest of the year and then just keep dropping. The 90s would be back. Now, right here, this particular output from the national blend of models does not show any triple digits. But I still have this feeling with the drier air and high pressure upper heights at 590, 591 decameters later this week. We could still see a stray 100-degree day or two before it's all said and done, and then temperatures will trend down thereafter. All right, looking at the CPC outlook, this is for the 8 to 14-day period, October the 5th through the 11th. If this is correct, temperatures here across the Southwest would generally be tilted toward above average, while precipitation is slated to be near average during that time. So, not bone dry, but of course drying out, because typically here in the post-monsoonal period of time here in early October, we are generally dry. I will say, this is one of those times of the year that when it does rain, it pours. When we do get systems around here, they can be rather potent, rather volatile, and we've of course, have had some of our biggest severe weather events in the month of October. So I caution you that even though it looks pretty quiet right now, things can still pick up. And given how active the tropics in the East Pacific have been, maybe that's on the horizon for us. We'll just keep an eye on things. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here and you want to support the channel, just like Bailey did yesterday again, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a monetary contribution to us. Thank you again, Bailey. Very, very greatly appreciated. Or, of course, via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal. And over there on Venmo, our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below, so you can take advantage of that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs. Yeah, she just posted a new one the other day. Videos. Everything that's Michelle related, possibly Adriana related and Kylie related as well. It's all linked up down in the description below, so check all of that out. Our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun over there. And check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files, on YouTube or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Dan, a content-making machine between live presentations 6 days a week and then 3 videos every single day, not to mention shorts content. There is nobody that's a harder working man on this platform than Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. He puts us to shame. But we really, really appreciate everything that he does for us, and so you should support him. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is amazing, and it is so greatly appreciated. Please, I want you to be safe, and even though only mid to upper 80s today, still want you to stay cool, stay hydrated, and you guys have yourselves a delightful rest of your Sunday.